Hello everyone, it's Thomas again, back with another waffle of a video. A lot of you people have been asking me, well, like, Thomas, why have you not been uploading in 3 months, I think now actually. And the answer to that is, well, I've been recovering from surgery. I've been basically bedbound. I've been stuck inside. I could have been one of those people that making a video just, with the wall in the background, with sat on the bed and whatnot, just waffling about different stuff, but they just don't leave the house. And yeah, I'm outside now, so I've got a right to speak. I actually touch grass. I actually go out to different places. I know what's going on in the world. So yeah, get ready for a great video ahead. So today I want to talk about how basically politics brings out the worst in people, whether you're left, right or centre, and why it basically should just be avoided for pretty much any social situation that you're going to get into. Now, if you don't know what politics is, I assume I shouldn't have to give you a massive definition for it, and if you don't know what it is, then you're probably just a child, and quite frankly I envy that. Lucky you. Basically, if I just had to give it a simple definition, it's basically just like the management of power within a society, within a country, how it should be controlled, how it should be distributed, etc, etc. That's probably the simplest way to put it. Now, we're told that there's different ways of obviously running a country. Like, you've got democracies here in the UK, or more specifically a liberal democracy, where every person over the age of 18, gets a chance to vote in the elections, choose what politicians and parties they want to get into power, to obviously advocate and do the stuff that they want changing in the country, that they want doing better. And then obviously you've got dictatorships and monarchies, where it's basically just run by one person or one family, and what they say basically goes. But when you dig into things, when you actually research politics, or you just absorb yourself in the heated debates, kind of just get to realise that at the end of the day, politics, it's all the same wherever. It's all a dictatorship. Democracy is just a mere illusion. The uni party, which they call it, where it's the two biggest parties in the country that are most likely to get in, everyone picks a side from that. They fight amongst each other, whereas the people above, the elites, or whatever you want to call them, the people that sat in the bloody round table with masks making all the decisions in the world, it doesn't matter what side you pick, left or right, red or blue. It's just the same geezer at the end of the day. It's just the same puppet that's being obviously stringed upon by the people in the round table with the masks. Oh, there's a bird. It's like a heron or something. Anyways, there's only so much you can do as the people to make changes and stop certain laws and legislations going through. I remember when was this, a few months ago, when there was going to be this new legislation for white British people to get harsher sentences than minorities in the country. This was back in April, and I think there was a few politicians that were going against it, the people protesting bloody two-tier sentencing and all that, and it was subsequently halted. Apart from that, apart from the odd protest, the odd riot, if things get bad, there's not really much that people can really do. And you'd think that the simple answer to this predicament is to just ignore politics completely and just live a peaceful life where you just focus on, making money, you're providing for your family and your friends and that. But, you don't really have that luxury when you get to at least past my age, because I'm 19 now. Because obviously you've got responsibilities, you've got taxes to pay, you've got bills to pay. You're not just an ignorant kid that can just play on Xbox all day and worry about, I don't know, playing with match attacks cards and video game you're going to try and level up in next. You can't have that luxury anymore. Because I think there's that famous saying, isn't there, you don't find politics, politics finds you. Because quite frankly, there's so many things going on in the country right now that you cannot ignore. For example, you've got the small illegal, migrant boats coming in from the south of England by Dover and that. All these military age men from, the Middle East and Africa, going into all these hotels in sleepy towns and villages across England, having a completely different culture, completely different mindset to our people, and we're being told that, we've got to look after these people and they're harmless, and just because they're undocumented and uninvited, it doesn't mean that we shouldn't treat them because of ECHR, European Court of Human Rights, and all of that malarkey. While simultaneously we're being told by our Prime Minister, our government, that Iran is the biggest dangerous threat to this country right now, and Iran's saying that, oh, we've got sleeper cells in your country already, ready to cause havoc whenever we feel like it. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but all these bloody boats coming in from the channel, all this blooming frimfo coming from God knows where, undocumented, and we're just, you know, bringing them in, oh, you know, open hands, you know, let's have a party, let's bloody celebrate, you know, welcome to the UK, you're all very welcome, you're all as British as us. And we don't know who they are. Of course they're going to be some sleeper cell. Like, you get told you're racist for, you know, noticing stuff like that. It's just stupid. Like, this is what makes me think that politics is just such a waste of time, because the government know what the people want. The majority of people, at least to a minimum, you might not like migration and that, but I think the majority of people would agree that these illegal boats, which apparently have refugees on them, it's meant to be like bloody families fleeing war, but it's just men. It's like when men get on a load of boats together, like think of bloody King Alfred the Great back in the day when, I don't know, the Saxons were trying to fight off the Vikings, and they're all coming in on bloody longboats, all bloody men just blooming chanting and screaming when they're coming in. It's like they're ready for war. It's like, what do you think is going to happen? Do you know what I mean? Am I missing something? And am I crazy? Am I missing something? Like, look at me, I'm right by the sea now. Just imagine you just sat here, minding your own business, yeah, and you just see like all these like blooming like boats and boats and boats of men that you don't recognise. They come from foreign lands and that, and they're just bloody storming the beach, running around, and just got to accept that. It's just, I'm waffling, but I'm trying to let all it out. I'm trying to let it all out. Do you know what I mean? Now, it doesn't really matter what you speak about, whether it's illegal migrants or not, anything which you think that everyone would agree with. There's always going to be one person or a group of people that are just going to disagree with you, be ready for a debate. So there's not really any avoiding in politics, but, you know, still, to an extent, I do believe that you can just befriend anyone and you can be civil with people to a bare minimum. You don't have to hate each other just because you disagree with their politics. Now, you know, maybe for example, like I said earlier, I could be more civil with the illegal migrants. I could have more sympathy, I could have more empathy in that, but obviously there's going to be a bit of a language barrier there. So what I really mean is just people in your society, your kin, your friends, people that you live amongst, that obviously are going to have different bloody views to you. Now, I'd assume that you'd probably want to still be with friends that are close to the sort of ideologies that you follow. Like, you're not going to get along with everyone completely, but when you just eliminate just politics or sociology or any controversial debate out the window, like, you can find there's just so many different things you can, you know, find commonalities with. Like, whether it's, I don't know, fishing, whether it's pub quizzes, like it could literally be anything. You can get along with so many people. Like I said, we all follow the propaganda of hating our neighbour just because of their views and that. You know, politics is basically just invented to divide people. Like, honestly, can we just go back to a monarchy where it's just, you know, everyone's in the same boat? I really wanted to hammer this point home as well. So on my little outing, I've decided to bring the one and only Holy Bible, King James Version. It's probably, you know, the easiest version to read. So yeah, I'm going to read you a Bible quote. It's from the book of Matthew. I think it's chapter 5 verse 47, and even though it's written in like 1500s English, it really hit home to me. I tell you, it really hit home to me. I was like analysing it on like ChatGPT, trying to get like the full extent out of the quote, and basically it goes, "And if ye salute your brethren only, what do ye more than others? Do not even the publicans so?" Now, basically, if you didn't interpret that quote whatsoever, basically what Jesus is saying is that reciprocal love is easy. Like, he mentioned about the publicans, which are basically like, you know, the olden day tax collectors, and even them were seen as like quite devious, quite corrupt, but they were still capable of having that love and appreciation for it, just people within their social circle, people that were able to help them. It kind of goes to show that, you know, if you only love people that love you back, or love people that are in your social circle, then you're no different to just any other person that's evil, because obviously evil loves evil, good loves good. So to really be righteous, to really, you know, push yourself out there and be someone of the divine, is to show love outside of the social norms, outside the boundaries, and love someone, you know, no matter what their view is, no matter what their perspective, background or whatever. And I just thought the way that he put it, the way that Jesus put it was just absolutely brilliant, 10 out of 10. Well, you might be an atheist watching this, and I myself can still really be cast as agnostic until I've read like the whole Bible and actually learned more about it. But you got to admit that's actually a pretty good quote. For example, like when it comes to like certain people with very radically different views to me, like I'm thinking of someone who's like transgender or someone part of like the LGBT community. Like personally, I don't really see much hate towards them. I do think they're kind of mentally ill. I think they're vulnerable to, you know, brainwashing that our democracy has put onto us. I know people that have, you know, I've gone to like primary school with, secondary school with, I've known them for like 10, 20 years, and they've gone down the path of going transgender, but I kind of just empathize with it. I just kind of say like, you probably had a hard time, because obviously, you know, getting into teenage puberty, like it can be lonely, it can be intimidating, and you don't really know, you know, your identity. You're still solidifying it, you don't know who you are, and different influences online or around you, the people who you hang around with in your environment, you know, can dictate that. And I don't think it's necessarily someone's fault because they've decided to change their gender and become mentally ill. Like I just empathize with it, and you might think the same with me. Like I'm quite right wing. You might say, oh, maybe I'm actually the evil one because I'm, you know, I've been manipulated by far right politics and I've got all these radical views about the world. And you could say that, you know, perhaps that you'd empathize with me and say that, oh, maybe I've had a hard childhood where I felt, you know, lonely, intimidated and whatnot, and I've decided to go down this path, and it's the wrong way. I think it just goes both ways, to be honest. I see it though most at the moment with Reform UK, which is like the populist party in the UK that's gaining the most traction at the moment, with like the likes of Nigel Farage, and there used to be like Rupert Lowe and that, but Nigel Farage especially, like people just hate on Reform and say that, oh, they're, you know, the fascist, far right, you know, dumb, unintelligent pieces of scum. And, you know, they don't like Farage because he's such this evil bigot that's, you know, out to, you know, deport all these migrants and all of that. And, you know, I don't really like Reform either, you know, similar to these people, but I don't like them because I don't think they're extreme enough with their politics and their what's it called, like manifesto that they're trying to put out. You'll see it on the left wing and that they're all, you know, trying to advocate to obviously tax the rich more, you know, advocate for socialism, give the working class a voice. But at the same time, they will not hesitate to call you a zero GCSE, benefit scrounging council estate dweller if you for once mention anything positive about Reform. It's honestly really funny that it's actually crazy to be honest with me, that, you know, we've actually got to the point in this country where, you know, people on the left wing will be so quick to demonize even people of their own kin, people that are struggling, perhaps living on benefits and they're native to this country, and they will just say that, oh no, they're the real nonsense, they're the real bad people, and all these refugees and migrants that are coming over, you know, I resonate with them, I'm on their side, I'm not a white supremacist, I don't like white people, they're all bad and they've done this and that. To be honest, I would consider myself quite working class too, not to the extent where I live on a council estate, but when it comes to, you know, perhaps like criticising and making fun of that, you know, Jeremy Kyle-esque character, you know, it's quite light-hearted. But the way that, you know, all these Lib Dem, Labour and Green voters are going about it, like they generally think that you're subhuman if you vote Reform. And I just see this. I've just seen this the most because obviously I'm on the right wing, so I see it more when the right wing get demonized rather than the left. But it's just crazy how people can go against their own kin, their own neighbours, for just random people around the world. Like, as I see, like, not to get into bloody world affairs and that, but I see it with like Palestine. Like every weekend in Manchester for like the past 2 years, there's been a Free Palestine protest, and it's good because, quite frankly, you know, I'm a Christian. I like to think that, you know, I'm not part of, you know, Israel or Palestine. I'm not going to pick a side, because when you are picking a side, you're basically choosing between being a Jew and a Muslim. I'm a Christian. What I see is that, you know, it's a war. Wars are terrible, and I pray for the innocents on both sides. But you see these people advocating for Palestine every week, and they're you know, they're radically taking sides. They want to be part of this war themselves, and it's just so unnecessary. Like, if you're going to advocate for anything, just advocate for absolute peace. And I know that the UK government's, you know, somewhat involved in it. There is like logic behind, you know, protesting in the streets and that, but you can't be supporting and taking sides in either the IDF or Hamas, both like terrorist organisations at this point. it's just so dumb. See, everybody has the right to their own opinion, and even I do, even though I just absolutely waffle on like I have in this video. But it's just this divide that we have against our actual genetic kin, which is really weakening us as a nation. It's weakening our soul. It's weakening us as a family. It's probably why we're not having any kids these days, like, honestly. So yeah, this is why I titled the video, you know, politics is dividing our kin. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this absolute waffle, this absolute rant where I literally just let out everything. I just vomit to you on the screen. I know, it's disgusting, isn't it? Absolutely disgusting, everything I've said. So yeah, hope you enjoyed. Bloody hell, I swear at the start of this video these chemtrails weren't here. Look at that. Look at those bloody chemtrails. Do you see him? Do you see it? Bloody hell. World's going to plot. See ya.